Hello, powerful people, and welcome to episode 20 of the Live Life Golden Show. I am so happy you're here today because we are going to take problems and we are going to dissect them and help you to get into solution mode. The problem and the solution are different energies. And if you are always in the problem, you cannot manifest solutions. So I'm going to help you to look at problems differently, to create a higher perspective with problems, even call problems something else so that you can get out of the problem and get into the solution. So let's get started. Problems versus challenges. If you can look at problems instead of just problems, you could look at them as challenges, you would understand that they are part of you rising above. They are part of you activating more of your power. They are actually opportunities for you to exercise your power and show yourself just how powerful you are. They are manifestational opportunities. It's like, oh, goody. I get to show myself just how powerful I am. And I get to start to understand the manifestation process by working on this situation, by watching the way energy flows, by understanding what I'm conducting, the energy that I'm conducting. When I am so consumed in the problem, I can't possibly open myself up and receive the solution. So that's the first thing, is switching. You can even call a problem a contrast. It's something that causes a contrasting situation that actually helps lead you to clarity. That's what problems do, is they help you to know what you don't want. And when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want a lot more clearly. So whenever something doesn't work out, whenever something happens that is not optimal, you can look at that situation and, we're all human, so I get it. You might need a few minutes to freak out. Hopefully you're not freaking out anymore. Hopefully you're listening to this podcast and you're starting to get a little more calm. Hopefully you're meditating. And if you're meditating, then you have a little more control of your emotions. And hopefully you've done some healing work so you're not so deeply triggered in this life and causing you to lose your mind. So when you're in this opportunity, when you've got an invitation for opportunity to focus your awareness on creating solutions, just know that this is part of your soul's journey. This is part of what your soul came here to experience. And that's where your expansion is created. Your expansion is created in the up levels. Your expansion is created in every time you step back into your power. Every time you get knocked down and you say, you know what? I can do this. I can get out of this. Every time you bypass the mind and you get into the heart and you start to realize just how powerful of a creator you are, and you start working on that deep inner stuff that has caused the problems in the first place, you heal, you grow, you become whole, and you can step into that true worthiness that you are, that I talked about in another episode. If you haven't watched the worthiness episode, it is really, really, it's worth it. Okay. When problems evoke anxiety, I want you to know that that's normal. It still happens to me. I still have things that come to me and I go, oh boy, what are we going to do about this? Right? You got a few little moments of freak out and that's not what I want. And that's good. That's actually not a terrible thing. When you get to the level of being able to take everything and just go, oh, well, that's cool. We can work on this. It's a manifestation opportunity. You're getting close to mastery, right? So this actually just happened to us. My daughter took her car in. She's got a Honda CRV, super old, 2009 or something, lots of miles. And she took it in for an oil change, simple oil change, right? Comes out, it's got $2,300 worth of work that needs to be done on it. So, I had my moment, not terrible moment, but I had a moment. Both my husband and I oh Lord, we don't want to fix that. We don't want to spend that much money on that car because it's very old. And we just said, let's just leave it alone. I told the mechanic, I said, you know what, we're going to revisit this. She can still drive it right now. We're just going to revisit this next week. And took the weekend to work on it, to let it go, to see what comes, to see what feels good. What feels good is not fixing this car. What feels good is doing something different. So now we're opening the channels to something different to come, whether it's, I don't even know what it's going to be. I did get some downloads that he possibly needs a new truck and she should get his truck, but we'll see what happens with that. We'll see how much flow we can create with that, how much flow of energy can be created with that, and what happens next. Remember, you always have the possibility of watching the energy flow and making decisions based on the energy. When the energy flows and things come to you and opportunities come to you and you feel good about them, mind you, it's all a heart game, because if something comes to you, if an opportunity comes to you and it doesn't feel good, it doesn't necessarily mean you're supposed to take it. It means you're supposed to go within, see how it feels, see if it resonates, see if it's in alignment. If it's not, something better may be coming and you may have to say no to that opportunity because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel, you don't feel connected to it. Being in the problem causes energy to slow down. So you will know when you're in the problem, when you feel super stuck, right? You're never stuck. That was a show. Don't remember which episode. You're never stuck. You always have the potential to let things go. And if you don't have a meditation practice, you need one to be able to do this, to soothe yourself, to let things go, to remind yourself that always everything always works out for you, to remind yourself that solutions are coming. That anytime a problem happens, anytime a challenge comes or a contrast, there's energy that's happening, right? There's energy that's being activated. And the energy that's being activated is that desire within you, the desire to create solutions, the desire for solutions to come. Right now, I have a desire for a solution to come for my daughter's car. And I want it to be wonderful. And I want a lot of people to be happy about it. And I want it to be an up level in our family experience. Let's refer to the problems from now on as opportunities for clarity and opportunities for manifestation. They're opportunities for you to exercise your ability to manifest. And if you're new to this manifestation game, that may feel a little scary. But the truth is, in the beginning of your manifestation game, you're actually way more powerful. And this is why, because you're not overthinking it. You're not overthinking it in the very beginning. You're just you're just kind of along for the ride. You're just like, let's see if this shit works, right? When we were in the very beginning of our manifestation game, like we had just gotten this information. We had read the book by Lynn Grabhorn called "Excuse Me, Your Life Is Waiting." And we were playing with energy. We were running our energy like we were pretending. We were talking about our being on our yacht. I mean, we were like getting into these really high vibrational conversations that were like super pretend, but they were getting us to feel the alignment. They were getting our juices flowing. And because of that, we would have manifestation after manifestation. People paying for our dinner, flowers being delivered, products being dropped off. I mean, just like we had a day of like, people walking up to me in the grocery store, giving me coupons. Like we had a day where it was like just manifestation after manifestation. And that was in the very beginning. So if you're in the beginning, I feel like the universe gets really excited and is super, super pumped to show you just how powerful you are. I had one experience. I was reading Pam Grout's book, E Squared. Also love that book. It's 9 simple experiments you can do to prove the law of attraction is right. And it was a thing where we had to do this, where we looked for as many sunset beige cars as we could find. And I had a very specific beige in mind. It couldn't be too gold. It couldn't be off-white. It was like this specific beige. And I was driving like 45 minutes from my house to go to a meeting. And I saw 150 throughout the day. I saw 150 beige cars. It was insane. I was like, they were everywhere, in front of me, on the side of me, behind me. And the reason for that is honing your focus, tuning your focus, looking for what you want to see, and activating that in the universe. And that one particular experience made me feel super powerful. And it made me go, what the hell? Like, this is really happening? Like, this is true. This is true. This is true. And that actually really fueled my law of attraction game and helped me to start wanting to share it with other people. Okay, do not, this is so important. This actually just happened to somebody I know. I'm not going to share this specific story because I'm not sure if the other person listens. But do not let other people create problems in your experience. Okay, how do you do this? So, this is when you're about to do something and you may be excited about it and you may feel like positive energy about it, and they start putting all of this stuff in your field. Oh, well, this happened to me, and be careful of this, and don't do this, and this person is going to do this to you. Do not create from other people's experiences. Do not take what they're saying as truth, because that will derail your progress. So here's a good example. When we first moved to California, we were told that it was super competitive market here, that it was really hard to find a home, that it was really like that there were like 10 people, we were looking to rent. There were 10 people, 20 people applying, and it was a super really challenging process, that having a low credit score was going to be an issue for us, that we should be very worried about that. And we even had the first realtor we met with here told us that, and pretty much told us that we were going to have to beg and live in the ghetto to survive right now. Okay? So if you hear those things, if people are putting those things in your field, let them determine you. Let them make you more determined. That's what that realtor did for me. He put a fire under my ass. Like, I got mad, I got angry, and I was determined and decided that A, I would live in a beautiful place, B, it wouldn't be hard to get, and C, it was going to be ease and flow. Ease and flow, always ease and flow. And that's exactly what I experienced. So do not, please, let people put shit in your experience, because it's their stuff. Like, it's their experience. It's what they were vibrating with. It's what they created. It does not have to be yours. Another piece of that is, if you're having fears or anxieties about something that's coming up the pike, something that you need to do, something that you need to manifest, something that you're looking to create, whatever it is that you are feeling fear about, I'm going to challenge you to write it down, to write down all those fears and look at them from a very objective point of view. And then ask for assistance, ask for your non-physical guidance, and get an answer to that issue, to that anxiety. Remind yourself what a powerful creator you are. Remind yourself of the laws of the universe, which say, if I desire it, I can create it. That's what the laws of the universe say. The fact that I have a desire, the fact that my heart is calling me something, means I have the wherewithal to create it. I just got to get out of the problem and get into the solution. And then the energy is going to move a lot faster. And you're going to feel the energy when you get out of the problem. Even if you just take a break, a couple of hour break from the problem, you're breathing, you're meditating, you're interrupting thoughts, you're allowing yourself to connect with that everything works out for me energy. Even if you just do that for like a couple of hours, you may feel the energy shift. You may get a phone call, something may happen. And energy shifting is the coolest way to start gaining your confidence in your manifestation power. Okay, so this is fun. Write down the problem. Bring. What does this bring up for you? This is the healing process. What does this problem bring up for me? What am I feeling? When you really get in touch with that, like when you're really asking your heart, you're getting out of your mind, you're getting into the heart, and you're really asking yourself, what does this problem bring up for me? Is it powerlessness? Is it unworthiness? Is it fear that I'm not good enough? Whatever that is. And then just do your breathing exercises to breathe this stuff out. I am right now currently doing a coaching program that is phenomenal with a group of amazing, amazing women. And we've been doing a lot of this. We've been doing a lot of writing prompts. We've been doing a lot of healing work. I've been doing energy release work with them. So I'll do that with them. And the results are incredible. Like, it's life changing stuff. So it's worth you going within and finding out what's going on inside. So the other day, this is kind of a little sidebar, but actually it goes along with being a little more lighthearted in life and a little less out of your problems and out of your mind. So I was going grocery shopping. My girlfriend was visiting from Florida, so we were having a great time, and she wasn't really feeling well that day. I think it was allergies, maybe jet lag. You know, that's what we were calling it, so it went away quickly. And I went to the grocery store by myself, and I was feeling pretty good. Like, we had watched a movie, we relaxed. Like, it was a great day. We were having a great time together, and so I was, feeling myself. I was feeling good. I was feeling happy. I was feeling free, and excited to go buy food and make a beautiful dinner. So I go to the grocery store, and I'm just walking around, and I'm feeling great. And I get up to the counter of the butcher because I was going to make some chili, and I needed some chicken sausage. That's a secret to my chili. Super delicious. And I went to the butcher, and I overheard him saying, "Oh, I'm just so stressed. I'm just so stressed." So I just asked him. I said, "Hey, I don't see any chicken sausage out here. Would you be able to just grab me a couple of links?" I said, "If it doesn't stress you out too much." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "I just have so much to do, and they just gave me all this stuff to do before I have to leave, and I'm just feeling really stressed." And I said, "Well," I said, "it's going to work out for you. I just have a feeling that I believe in you. I just want you to know that I believe in you." I mean, this is crazy, right? Like, who says this to a stranger? But I got to be honest. I wasn't in my mind. I was in a very light-hearted feeling. I was looking outside of myself. I was connecting, and I was engaging. And you can't do that when you're in a problem. You can't do that when you're in a bad mood or when you're anxious. It's only when you're really tuned into the frequency of joy that you can offer this joy to other people. So he started laughing, and he thought it was really funny, and he was like, "Wow, that's great. Thank you. Like, thank you." Right. So I get my meat, and I go on my way, and I finish my grocery shopping, and I'm walking out to the parking lot, and he comes running by me. He was leaving, and he goes, "I just want you to know that that comment made my whole day, that you made my whole day." And I was like, "Wow, that was easy. Where's the easy button?" Do you realize that we have the power to do that for people? That we have the power to be in our fullness, to be in our wholeness, to be in love with life and offer that love of life to other people just by being in our heart, just by being in that flow and expression of joy in our lives. And we cannot do that when we are hyper focused on our problems, when we are hyper focused on survival, like when you are bogged down about money. Oh my goodness. I can share with you because this has happened to me several times in my life. The first time it happened to me, there's no way that I would have had a conversation with that butcher because I couldn't even breathe. Like, I was just taking little sips of air because I couldn't breathe, because we couldn't pay our bills, because we were going into foreclosure. I mean, those are all really scary, scary things that this world can put upon us in these moments of deep, deep contrast. And when I look at that situation, I am so grateful for it. I am so grateful that we went through that because we can offer so much hope to people, because we showed ourselves our incredible manifesting powers. Like, to stay in a house that's in foreclosure for 5 years is unheard of. But I could just in my mind's eye see that paperwork just going underneath the pile every time. And you know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. It was worth it to go through that experience, to know that you're untouchable, that you can create the reality that you desire. You can make decisions around your own well-being that actually manifest in your favor every single time. Every single time. So stepping into the lighter side of life is a big part of, tuning into that frequency of joy. It's getting yourself, it's allowing yourself. So this is like the biggest thing with meditation. I'm about to come out with a meditation recording too. Like, I'm going to do a guide to meditating. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's actually going to be a sellable product that I'm going to sell to people for very reasonable, because I feel like there's so many people out there that are struggling with meditation, that maybe have given up, that maybe don't believe that they can meditate. And I'm going to give them permission. I'm going to give them the keys to the kingdom. Oh, maybe that's what we'll call it. I like the sound of that. So when it comes to meditating, right? Meditation is letting go of all the shit. It's letting go of the problems. And when you let go of the problems, that's when you're allowed to create new energy. So meditation is a huge part of A, letting go of the problem, B, putting yourself more in a relaxed state. And if you're having trouble with that, I'm also going to include some breath work that allows you to clear out your mind if you're feeling super anxious. Getting you in that meditative state also puts you in receiving mode. So it allows you to receive these beautiful gifts and blessings that the universe is trying to get to you, but you're blocking it because you're in disbelief of it, or you're in hopelessness or powerlessness, and you're just sitting, you're steeping in that problem. We want to get out of the problem. We do. So whatever that challenge is bringing to you, whatever that challenge is unfolding for you, know that it is part of your expansion. It's the expansion of your soul. It's the growth. And I can guarantee you, whatever that expansion is, whatever it's bringing to the table for you, it's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to create healing. Two, it's going to create a desire for a change that has probably been needed for a long time. It's going to activate anger. It might activate anger. It activates energy, but might show up as anger. And there is power in anger. There is energy in anger. I'm not a huge proponent of going around and being angry, but sometimes we got to get a little pissed off. And that creates that determination to change things. That's when we go out and say, enough is enough. I've had enough of this. I'm sick of it. I'm going to change it. And that's what that does. That's what that energy does for you. And then in that process, that expansion of your soul process, you're going to be given all these tools. You're going to be given all this information. You're going to be able to look at your process of manifesting and get better at it. So it's going to refine you. It's going to refine that process. And the last thing that it does, the most amazing thing I think that it does, is it allows you to speak. It allows you to speak to certain things. Actually, that's not the last thing. We'll say that's the third thing. There's one more thing. It allows you to speak to those who are not as far along the path as you, to offer hope and belief in other people, to say, I've been there, I got you, I understand, and you're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. This is what I did. This is how it worked out. When we share our stories of shit working out, that is so empowering to other people. I don't know why, because it's not their story, but they can take it with them and they can say, wow, this worked out for her. Why wouldn't it work out for me? We're both on this planet. We both have manifestation abilities. Of course, I can manifest just like that person. Of course, I can. I am a powerful creator. That is a wonderful mantra to take with you and to put up all over your house. I am a powerful creator. I love that. So remember that. Look at your past manifestation stories and gain great confidence from that. Sometimes we need to really remind ourselves that we're powerful by looking at things, reminding ourselves, oh yeah, I did that. And that happened, and this miracle happened. And when I go over my story of moving here, I'm still in awe of it. I'm still completely in awe that we did what we did. And now I'm able to offer that hope and belief to other people. That's such a freaking honor. Not to mention the joy that we live here, this incredible place that we live, that we love, the beautiful weather, the beautiful people. I mean, it's just a great place. It really is. And it may not be for everybody, but this is what we wanted. This is what we desired. And because we created it, wonderful things have happened because of it. And my life is fantastic. So I want to share a little story. I know you guys love stories, or at least I think you do. Some of you guys are listening to this thing quite a bit, and I'm pretty happy and excited. And thank you for all of your messages. Geez, makes me feel so good, and it just makes me keep going. This is such a cool story. So a little while ago, my daughter was visiting, and she shared that my cousin was planning to move to California, and that he was in Pasadena at the time, for a super quick visit. He was coming to see if he could work there. and he left without telling us or without seeing us. Or I mean, I don't even think he had any awareness of where we were, which we're kind of far from Pasadena. So he goes back home, and then my daughter tells me that, he's trying to get into personal training. He really wants to move to California and do personal training here. And I was like, huh, wow, that's really cool. That's really interesting. And then not too long after, maybe a couple of days or maybe a week, I don't know, time flies so fast. I see a message from the guy who owns my gym that he is looking for a male trainer, and he is looking for somebody that he can train to work at our gym. And y'all know how much I love my gym. It's like my family, and I love it too. I love it so much that I go there every day except for Sunday. So I was like, that's really interesting. So I'm thinking I probably should mention that to my gym owner, who is also a really good friend. So I kind of let it go for a couple of days, because that's kind of what I do. Like I like to read the energy. I like to see what's happening. I like to see if I'm supposed to put my hand in, if I'm supposed to help at all, because we can tend to overstep what we're supposed to be doing, because we always want to help. And when you always want to help people, you're actually disempowering them. So I kind of take a step back. And one night he calls me, the owner of my gym. He calls me and he says, we were just chatting. He likes to call me and chat sometimes. So we're just chatting about things, getting caught up. We hadn't seen each other in like a week or two. And then towards the end of the conversation, he just happens to mention about this trainer that he's looking for. And I thought, well, geez, like he's telling me about it. Maybe I should tell him. So I started telling him about my cousin and how great he is and how he's looking to move here. And um, he's like, wow, that would be amazing. Like I should talk to him. And I was like, yeah, you definitely should. So I start looking for my cousin. I've talked to him like at my daughter's wedding 2 years ago. So, we're not super in each other's field. We grew up together. Like he grew up, with me, like holidays, the whole thing, but not super tight. Like we don't talk. So I find him on Instagram and I message him and I say, hey, are you trying to move here? And he was like, yeah, I'm trying, but it's not really working out, and didn't really love LA. And so I'm like, whoa. I said, I might have this opportunity for you. And he was like, well, let me look at the rent prices. And I was like, listen, don't do that. You don't want to do that. Rent prices are crazy here. We don't know what's going to manifest. Just let's just open up the field. Like let's activate the energy. So he has a conversation with the gym owner, my gym owner, and it goes really well. And then I start like telling him he should listen to my podcast and all this stuff. And, we're messaging back and forth, and he's like, this is amazing. And I was like, Orange County is so different than LA. You really need to come and visit us and see what it's like. And then I tell my daughter about it, my daughter who lives here. And she's like, oh my God, I would totally let him live with me. Like he could just come and live with me and we can get an apartment, because she's been looking for a roommate just so that she can afford to live here. And she's like, this is incredible. Like he could just stay with me. So once that happened and she reached out to him, it kind of became like a no-brainer at that point, I think. So he got super excited and he just put a date on it, which is so impressive when people do that, when they put a date on it, like when they take that as a sign and they don't like get wishy-washy with the energy and get unsure. It's like he just knew, like he knew, when right? And when things are lining up, if you don't let your mind talk you out of it, you will move forward in a very fast paced time. Like the energy will speed up, it'll ramp up towards your dream. So he ends up putting a date on it, August 1st. He showed up yesterday. We had dinner together. You can see our pictures on Facebook. He's adorable. I mean, he's just the cutest. He's a bodybuilder. He's in really great shape. He's super healthy. He's excited to learn. He's excited to grow. And it's pretty fantastic to have him back in our lives in such a cool way. So he has an appointment with my gym owner tomorrow, and I'm going to go work out with them. And man, dreams coming true. We had dinner with him in Laguna last night, and he was just, I love to see California from other people's viewpoints, and for people that just moved here and they're really excited about it. It just sparks that in me again. Not that I don't have that. I'm still in the honeymoon phase of living here. I still feel like it's a party for my eyes every time I walk out the door. I love the way the air feels. I love the way the sun feels. I love the beach. You guys know that. So so yeah, so just seeing him in this like honeymoon phase of like excitement, and I don't even know what's going to happen, and this is really thrilling, is man, that's some good stuff. Like that this is what life is all about. I did a post this morning. I'm going to go a little off the cuff here. I did a post this morning about living life to the fullest. And I really want to get deep with you guys. I want to get really down deep to what's happening. Because if you look outside at the world right now, you know, it may look like things are not going well. And it may look like we're going to need to make decisions based on things that we don't want. And the truth of the matter is, you are a powerful creator and you get to decide. You have to take your eyes off of that stuff. You have to take your eyes away from, unless you're feeling super called. Like if you're feeling super called to go out and fight and make a difference, then God bless you. For me, I know that my well being and the way that I conduct in my energetic field, from solution, from my power, from focusing and tuning into the frequency of joy and lightheartedness, I know that I can make a difference. I know that I can every single day, even if it's just the butcher man, which great, right? Like one person, if I can just make a difference in that one person's day and raise their vibration, how many other people are they going to affect? How many more people will a difference be made because I wasn't living in my head, because I was tuned into the joy, because I was feeling peace and calm and excited about our world, excited about all the things that have been exposed, excited that we are going to start moving into solution mode because we are powerful, because we get to decide what we're doing in our everyday. So if you are right now, I have felt a huge ramp up of energy. I'm just feeling like energy is moving super fast. I saw a funny meme the other day. I almost stole it. I might go back and steal it. It was said, Summer should get a speeding ticket. Like that's what it feels like. And it's a little weird for me this summer because I have no one going back to school. This is the weirdest feeling because for 25 years I have had children in school. So this is the first year that I haven't had to buy school supplies. This is the first year that I don't even have to think about school clothes. I mean, last year, I guess, because last year was really wonky. I just want to erase last year. I don't even want it to count. So this is like the first year that I feel like summer's never going to end for me. I just like, and because I do this wonderful stuff and because I work from home, it's like, you know, it doesn't have to end. And also in California, the weather can stay warm for a very long time, like up until like November, December. So I'm good. I'm good. But in that, the energy is ramping up. The energy is moving so fast right now that you've got to grab onto life. You got to grab onto life and you have to make a decision that you're going to create it powerfully and that you're going to start living the life that you love, living the life that you have always dreamed of. It's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say that, you know, it's not for the weak. But what it does is it clears out a lot of this low vibrational stuff, a lot of these fears, right? We can't clear out fears that we don't know are there. And I do feel like the last year and a half of our world has been a huge cleansing of fear and a huge cleansing and place of for people to step back into their power. Like once they're, I mean, I felt fear for sure, and it was fear on a collective level that was really intense and deep and scary for sure. If you're still feeling that really intense fear, I would invite you to listen to every one of my podcasts to take your power back. Read my book, Quantum Speak. I mean, come on, like let's look at universal laws. Let's look at science. Let's look at how we create our health. There's a couple of books on health that I really love. Well, Greg Braden is one person that I've followed he does a lot of amazing stuff. He's a scientist and he has studies where they have cured people of cancer. Yeah. There's a cure for cancer. I know America doesn't want you to know that. him and I think it's Deepak Chopra wrote Quantum Healing. They also have cured people from cancer, from like meditating, cleaning up their nutrition, cleansing their body, detoxifying their mind, detoxifying their thoughts. I know I've heard things about women who, there was a woman, and I can't remember where this was shared, but maybe it was Wayne Dyer. She found out she had cancer and she just watched funny videos all day, like funny movies all day. And she just laughed and laughed and laughed. And that frequency of laughing took her out of the frequency of sickness. We have the potential to do this. And if you have people who have passed away from cancer in your life, I'm not saying that they didn't do enough and that they, it's like we all have a destiny here. When it's your time, it's your time. And that's one of the things that I think has been a great disservice to our world right now, is believing that people are going to die before their time, that people are going to be, taken from us because of something that was out of their control, like that their immune systems, that we don't have immune systems that can handle things, because I just believe in destiny. It's just what I believe. You don't have to believe it, but it makes me feel good to know like I am loved, protected, and supported. And I know that life is unfolding perfectly for me. And if there is something that I'm going to come in contact with, there's no less living that I'm going to do in fear of coming in contact with something. I mean, that's crazy. That's like sitting in your house because you're afraid you're going to get into a car accident. I mean, it's just madness. So, whew, didn't know I was going to talk about that. Sorry if I'm offending anybody. Sorry, not sorry. So when it comes to the lightheartedness of life and getting out of your problems, you first have to recognize that you have lightheartedness. You first have to find it. You got to find it. Where is it in your life? Where do you need to go to feel that lightheartedness? Pay attention. Pay attention the next time you feel fun. Pay attention the next time you laugh. Pay attention like to who you're with and to what you're doing. Pay attention the next time you lose track of time because you're in a project that you are just engrossed in, that you are so passionate about. It happens to me all the time. Pay attention to those things because those things matter. And those things are your gateway to more joy. They're your gateway to the freedom that you are seeking in your life experience to create ease and flow, to create manifestation of your dreams. Those things, like tuning into that joy. If you are like sitting around and you're waiting, if you're waiting for a problem to go away, if you're waiting and you feel like you're stuck and you don't really know like what the next moment, what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go, and if you're in that waiting and you're in that like low level misery where you're just like kind of dragged down and you're super heavy. And what happens when we're super heavy, like when we're dense and we've got all this heavy emotion like depression or misery, we start to eat like crap. So then that crappy food just like, makes it worse. And then we gain weight. And then, it just gets worse and worse where we lose all of our motivation. So in that, if you're anywhere near that experience, and I think if you were going to ever be there, this might have been the year for you to be there because you couldn't go anywhere. Just know this. Whatever you are experiencing right now is a huge piece of the process of the expansion of your soul. And it's going to pass. My grandmother used to say that this too shall pass. Turns out Jesus said it. She stole it from Jesus. I didn't find that out until years later. But I thought about that often when my kids were little and it was really, really hard. I mean, we had two that were 16 months apart. Those are our oldest. They were 16 months apart. I was 21 years old when I had those two babies. We were babies. My husband was making, I think, $8 an hour when they were born. I mean, it was not easy. Those were not easy times. There were times we had to put our change together just to get formula for my second one because I didn't want to nurse her because I was so tapped out emotionally being a 21-year-old with two babies. So, going through the thick of that and having my grandmother's voice, she was still alive then. And I remember talking to her on the phone and just being like so overwhelmed, so overwhelmed by the laundry and the dishes and just like trying to bring these two little beings to happiness all the time. And I remember her saying, "Oh, honey, this too shall pass." Oh, that's going to make me cry. I miss my gram. And I thought, okay, like that just makes you feel better. It gives you a little bit of relief. It's like, okay, I'm going to get through this. And my husband always shares, like, when he's got a really tough situation and he's real stressed at work and he's got like a stressful client that he's dealing with, that he'll always take himself to the end. So he'll take himself to the end and he'll feel the relief and he'll feel the completion of the project. So when you do that, you're actually aligning with the energy of that, and you speed up the energy towards that. Anything that's of misery or depression or problem oriented thinking is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in that lower, slower, dense energy that doesn't allow energy to flow. So you got to shift it. You got to find a way to shift it, whether it's saying these little sayings that make you feel better, whether it's walking in nature. Exercise is a great way to shift. Tony Robbins always says, move a muscle, change a thought. Get outside, go to the beach. God, if you live near the beach, maybe you're not a beach person. I don't understand people that are not beach people. Maybe you like the mountains, like my oldest daughter. Go to the mountains, climb a mountain, stand on top of a mountain, take some deep breaths. Our breathing connects so much to how we feel. And the truth about breathing is that we take very shallow breaths. And because we take shallow breaths, we actually activate cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So when we take deeper breaths, we settle down our whole being and we stop the anxiety that is consistent with that monkey mind that we're always listening to. Hopefully, you're not. And so when we calm ourselves, we actually put ourselves in receiving mode and we allow that energy to flow a little bit faster. When it comes to the things that you're looking to manifest, I'm not sure what my cousin's process was because I haven't gotten a chance to like really talk to him about it, but I probably will tonight. When it comes to that manifestation process, like, we did the same thing. We came to California hoping to make connections with people, hoping, right, that things were going to work out for us, that we were going to be able to move there, that things were going to happen. And nothing happened. That was like September the year before we left. We left in June of that following year. And it was tough. You go back, you think, good Lord, like, why isn't this manifesting? And the truth is, there's timing. There's timing in the universe that needs to happen. There's alignment that needs to happen in your own energetic field. If you are miserable, you're in lack, you're too far from it, you can't get it because you're not there with it. I had to come to California and I had to see what the people were like. I had to see what the energy was like. And it was high freaking vibe. Like, it's high vibe here. Most people are you know they're ready to receive, definitely. And this is it's an abundant area, and it's filled with beauty, and there's a lot of high vibe people. So I had to get that way, and I had to do it in the middle of winter, and it was not easy. And it may not be easy for you, but any small way you can do it, any little way you can shift your energy field to more joy, more excitement, more passion, do something you've never done. um, work on loving what is, work as much as you possibly can. Look at what is. If you're not in love with your life, you got to go out and you got to create it. You got to decide, what do I love and how can I do it? You got to decide, because if you don't decide, then you're going to be in this wishy freaking washy energy for God knows how much longer. And life is going fast and you don't want to have those regrets. So this morning, I went to the gym and I've got 3 weeks left of my body fat competition. And if you all have listened to me at all, you know that I came in second twice. So I've been in a body fat competition for pretty much the half of the year. It's a 8-week long competition. And then we take, like, I think a month off. And that month has caused me to slide. There's no doubt about it. I'm looking at ways that I can change my process of being on this roller coaster ride. So that's good. But I really want to win, right? Of course, I want to win. I want to come in first place, not egotistically, but really just to like prove it to myself that I can do this and I can be focused and I can benefit from that. I'm definitely benefiting. My husband is benefiting. He's competing as well. He burned like 20,000 calories in the first month of him going to the gym. That might be a record. I don't know. I was pretty impressed by that. So, when it comes to this body fat competition, I decided yesterday, because I've got 3 weeks left. My numbers have not been great, and I'm letting that go because that's in the past, right? That was like Saturday, so I can let that go. And I can just move from now. Like I can just decide from now what I'm going to do and what I'm going to create from. I had a lot of fun last week with my friend, and I didn't eat terribly, but I definitely drank a little. And drinking, good Lord, if you ever look up alcohol, it really, really screws up your metabolism and your ability to have a capacity of joy. That's huge. So, so this week I decided, okay, I'm going to do 2 workouts, and the workouts are super hard. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see them. I did 2 of these really intense workouts. It's about 50 minutes each, and I burned like 1,074 calories, like crazy, right? Now, I was doing 2 workouts in the last competition, so this is not like going so far from anything I've ever done before. When I first heard people did 2 workouts, I did think they were insane. And I did think to myself, I will never be that person. But we all change, right? You got to be open to possibility. So I went and did the 2 workouts. So the first workout was really hard and I was tired. And I said to my trainer, the owner of the gym, I said, I'm going to do the second workout. And I'm telling you right now, so I don't bail, because there was a possibility of me bailing, right? Because our mind likes to keep us safe and our mind likes to keep us the same. And I'm real hip to what's going on in my mind. So I wanted him to keep me accountable. So he's like, all right, cool. So we get into the second workout. He gives me a workout partner. I'm tired coming into it, and all of a sudden it just clicks, and I get a second wind, and I feel great, and I'm powering through, and I'm inspiring my partner, and I'm helping her. I'm pushing both of us, and we're getting through it. Finish the workout. Oh, feels so good, feels so great. Done for the day, feel amazing. Get in my car, I'm driving home, and it dawns on me that I no longer have this nagging thought. This is where the difference between misery and joy lies. I don't have this nagging thought that says, you got to start doing 2 workouts. You got to work out later. You got to get a second workout in. That has been happening to me every day for like the last 2 weeks. And it's been causing me to not feel my capacity of joy that I could feel when I actually do what I say I want to do. And I gained the relief of that. I felt really good about it. One other thing that happened with this body fat competition that's really valuable to share. So I started doing some different things because I get a little desperate. I get a little cray cray, and I don't want to be cray cray, but I do. I'm competitive. Don't know what that is, but I am. I'm competitive. I like to prove things to myself, right? I like to compete. I like to win. It's just something. My husband is the same way. We're just like, we're winners. Like that's our thing. We're VIPs and we're winners. Like that's our thing. So, started getting a little crazy with my diet, started dropping my calories super low, started doing some crazy things, and it didn't work. Like when I weighed in, it actually was worse. And so I was like frustrated, and it's just like, what am I going to do? Like talking to my trainer, like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, where do I go from here? And he said, what do you want? Like profound, right? What do you want? I'm going to ask you all, what do you want? He goes, you got to go home. You got to be quiet. I love people in my life, like people that just resonate with what I resonate with. Be quiet, write it down. What? Write it down. Get clear about what you want, and then talk to me. So I did that, and I came home and I got super clear, and I decided I want to be healthy, strong, and fit. I want to win, but I want to be healthy, strong, and fit, and I want to feel good on the way to it. I want to feel like I've got enough nutrition in my body. I want to feel like I have enough energy. I want to feel strong. When I was doing those 2 workouts a day a couple weeks ago, God, I felt strong, and it up-leveled my fitness, and I felt great, and I was eating lots of good stuff, lots of healthy foods, and it worked. It worked. So that is also being in your joy, right? Like if I'm in my joy, if I'm like energetically connected to that joy, to that health, to that fuel, to like fueling my body so I feel good all day, then there it is. So I will ask you all once more, what do you want? What do you want? What is it that you have been holding yourself apart from, creating lack and misery for way too long? Can you take a leap of faith? Because the thing about leaps of faith, quantum leaps, whatever you want to call them, your dreams, your desires, you cannot fathom. Like we try to figure out how the hell is that going to happen? You cannot fathom the miracles and the blessings that are already waiting for you. They're already set up for you. I call it the incredible orchestration of the universe. It's like my favorite thing. Like, this is so freaking orchestrated, right? I've seen it so many times in my life where there is complete orchestration. When you know that, when you have confidence in that, I know what made me think that. That's my last story I'll share. Jeez Louise. When we were renting a beach house in Newport, and this was like a big thing for us to do for our family, and we were doing it for Christmas. My husband found this house, and we drove to a couple of houses to look, kind of peek in the windows and see if we liked them, see if it was like the right vibe for us, because they're very expensive. Very, I'm not gonna lie, they're expensive. Um, they're abundant. Let me change that. They're abundant. Yeah. Staying there is very abundant. It's like a $6 million house. It's completely beautiful right on the sand in Newport Beach, California. So so he calls and he gets the guy on the phone, and we book it and everything. And then he ends up telling one of his contractors, I think it's his landscaping contractor. He starts telling him that we're going to stay in Newport, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, like what house is it?" And he tells him the address, and he's like, "No way." He's like, "I put that patio in. Like, I know the guy. I know the guy." Calls the guy right away, gets my husband on the phone with him. So there's a connection, and I go, now that is just orchestration of the universe. Of all the Airbnbs we could have picked, right? We pick this specific one that that our other contractor knows, and we end up like getting a little bit off the price because we had a connection and we had a back door to the situation. And then he says, "Oh yeah, and they're thinking about putting a third floor on." How cool would that be? Right? If my husband ends up working on my house, now I call it my house. I feel like I'm home when I'm there. I've been there twice and it just feels like home. Like I know what it feels like to live in a beach house now. So seems like the next logical step to me. It's vibrational alignment. Just watch me. Just watch me. All right. I love you guys. I am super floored about people listening to this podcast and giving me messages. You guys have no idea what that means. It really helps me to keep going. It helps me to know that I'm making a difference. I think one of my favorite things in the world is knowing that I am making a difference, that the information that I am giving to people is really helping them to change their lives and take their power back. Huge, huge, huge. I wanted just to give you a few things that I'm about to do. I'm going to launch a new group coaching program very soon. My founding members have been phenomenal in helping me create this program that is next level. It will take your life to the next level. It really is about up leveling to a massive amount of joy. And if you are looking to create, one of your huge dreams, this is going to help you to do it, because it's going to help you to clear out those low level beliefs and help you to create from wholeness. There was a big self-love piece of this. There's a big worthiness piece of this. We have released a lot of childhood beliefs that no longer serve. And it's just been so incredible. I can't wait to share the testimonials with you. Someone told me the other day that we cured her fear of flying. How cool is that? Pretty cool. So let me know if you have questions. livelifegolden@gmail. You can follow me on Facebook, Goldyn Duffy, and Live Life Golden on Instagram. I've got a lot of really amazing and cool stuff coming up. I am possibly this week I'll be able to create that guided meditation thing, because I have a lot of people looking and waiting for that. So if I do that, I will let you know. But that will be on Facebook and Instagram, and possibly my website, probably, which is also livelifegolden.com. So thank you all. If you haven't read Quantum Speak, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right. I love you all. Peace.